Hi, I'm Matt Golofczynski, the technical writer for What Digital Camera magazine, and today we're going to look at the Canon EOS 1000D. In terms of specification, the model is very close to the 450D. Instead of the 450D's 12 megapixel sensor, we see a 10.1 megapixel sensor and also a 2.5 inch LCD screen on the rear. The model still has the same Digic 3 processing though. The camera features a 35-zone metering system that we've seen previously on Canon DSLRs, and it's got three patterns. It's got evaluative, centre-weighted and partial metering as well. It doesn't have the spot metering that we've seen on the 450D, and it also doesn't have the highlight tone priority, also on the 450D, as well as some of Canon's Pro models too, and the 40D. One of the better points of the camera is that it features a 7-point autofocus system. Now, a lot of cameras around this sort of price range only feature about 3, but this one has 5 along the horizontal and also 1 at the top and 1 at the bottom, and it's got a cross-type f5.6 centre point too. The camera also features a live view with 2 autofocusing modes, a quick mode and a live mode. The quick mode, as you probably guessed, is the quicker of the two, and it uses phase detection in between a temporary blackout to achieve autofocusing. The live mode uses contrast detection, and it's a little bit slower, but you benefit from getting an uninterrupted view of the feed. Have a look at the back. We've got the menu and display buttons at the top here. Underneath those is the 2.5 inch LCD screen, which features a 230,000 dot resolution. Round on the other side, we've got the zoom in and out buttons, which have been coupled with focusing functions too. And down the side here, we've got exposure, compensation, white balance and print buttons. And the menu pad has the picture styles, focusing, metering and drive mode functions assigned to it too. The set button in the middle activates the live view, or you can set it to do other things too. And right at the bottom we've got the play and delete controls too. Okay, so if you have a look at the top plate, we've got the power switch right there, which sits around the mode dial. The mode dial's got the basic sort of creative zone modes such as manual, aperture priority, shutter priority and program, and then you've also got 6 further scene modes such as portrait and landscape. In front of that you've got an ISO switch which allows you to access the ISO range up to a maximum of ISO 1600, and in front of that you've got a small front command dial as well, which you operate the menus and exposure settings with. In front of that you've got the shutter release button, which sits on its own little comfortable platform, and you can see around the top here we've also got a hot shoe which you can mount Canon and third-party flash guns onto. As well as the hot shoe, we've also got a built-in flash which is activated by the switch here, and it features a guide number of 12, and it's quite useful for fill-in flash situations. As with the 450D, we've also got an SD card slot around the sides here, and this is the second Canon camera to feature a single SD card slot, as it's supported media type. SD cards are generally quite cheap, and for cameras such as the 1000D, you generally don't need the sort of performance from the sort of higher end compact flash cards. If we compare the camera with the 40D, you can see that it's a little bit smaller, it's a lot lighter as well. It doesn't quite have the same handling as the 40D, as the 1000D is generally an all-plastic affair. The 40D's got much nicer rubberised points around the grip and the back as well, and it feels a little bit more robust. If you look at the back, the two are quite different too. Obviously there's a much smaller LCD screen on the 1000D. It also doesn't have the Canon 40D's dial. It's got the buttons instead for selecting menu options. But some of the buttons, like the menu and the zooming in and out buttons, are in the same place. If we look at the images from the 1000D, we see that exposures are generally very good. White balance and colour is also quite good. The only time the white balance tends to struggle is indoors under artificial lighting, but it's not too bad. Noise is also very impressive. There's generally a lack of noise up until about sort of 400, 800, and even ISO 1600 isn't generally too bad. JPEG files are a little bit soft compared to the RAWs, but you do get Canon's excellent digital photo professional software, which allows you to do some extensive post-processing on your files. And generally, sharpness and detail is very well maintained, especially if you've got one of the more expensive EF lenses on there. Generally, the camera performs really well and does everything you want it to do. It's capable of producing some really nice images. The problem is that it's quite expensive, especially compared with models like the Sony A200 and the Olympus E420. At the moment, the camera stands at around £580 with its kit lens, while its competition is about half that. So once the camera drops into about £400 or so, I think it would be quite a good model, but at the moment it's just the price that really lets it down. Overall, we give it 85%.